Hey everyone, have you ever stared up at the night sky, wondering about the vastness of it all, and then hit that mind-bending question? If God created everything, then who created God? It's the ultimate puzzle, isn't it? The one that keeps philosophers up at night and sparks heated debates around dinner tables. But here's the bold truth: God wasn't created at all, and by the end of this video, you'll see why that makes perfect sense, unlocking a deeper understanding of existence itself that could change how you view the universe forever. Stick around, because I'm about to reveal hidden insights from ancient thinkers, cutting-edge science, and timeless scriptures that will blow your mind and equip you with answers to silence even the toughest skeptics. You know, a lot of us Christians confidently say that God is the creator of everything: the majestic mountains, the roaring oceans, the incredible diversity of animals, the twinkling stars, and even us humans with our beating hearts and immortal souls. But then comes the pushback. If every single thing in our world had a starting point, a cause that brought it into being, why doesn't God need one too? Doesn't that feel like a convenient loophole, like we're just dodging the hard questions? Imagine this everyday chat. Your friend Jimmy declares, "God made the whole universe." And Billy shoots back, "All right, that's cool, but who made God?" Jimmy replies, "Well, everything else needs a creator but God. He's eternal, he just always existed." Oof, that can land like a cop-out, right? It makes it seem like we're switching off our brains, blindly accepting that God was just there without digging deeper into the origins of life. But today we're not shying away from that. We're diving headfirst into this cosmic mystery to give solid, thoughtful answers for both believers and doubters alike. We'll break it down through 3 powerful points that build a rock-solid case. Let's kick off with point number 1. For us humans to even exist, something out there has to be eternal without a beginning or an end. Think about it like this. The brilliant philosopher William Lane Craig, in his book On Guard, draws from the ancient thinker Al-Ghazali, who argued that you simply can't cross an infinite series of events one by one. There has to be a starting line somewhere. Let me paint a picture to make this crystal clear. Picture a simple pencil in a student's hand during class. That pencil didn't just magically appear out of thin air. No, the student's mom bought it at the store and packed it in the backpack. But rewind further, that pencil was shipped in a box to the store from a warehouse. Before that, it was assembled in a bustling factory. Go back even more, and the wood, graphite, and eraser materials were trucked in from suppliers. And those materials? They came from forests, mines, and factories that harvested and processed them. This chain stretches on like an endless backstory. Now, imagine these steps as a row of dominoes, each one knocking over the next in a perfect sequence until that pencil lands in the student's grip. That's how causes work. Each event triggers the one after it. But apply this to the big picture, the Christian God of the Bible. Someone might challenge, okay, but who created God? Alright, for argument's sake, let's say a bigger deity, call it God 2, whipped up the Christian God in Jesus. Problem solved? Not so fast. Now we have to ask, who created God 2? Easy, right? God 3, of course, but hold on, this spirals into a massive headache. If every single thing demands a prior cause, we'd end up with an infinite lineup of gods, each creating the one before it. And here's where it gets wild. If that's the case, we humans couldn't possibly be here. Why? Think of our existence as the final domino in that chain. The Christian God is the one right before us. God 2 before that, God 3 even earlier, and so on forever. An infinite chain means no starting point, no first domino to tip everything into motion. We'd be stuck in an eternal before with no now. Even if you're more into science than faith, like believers in the Big Bang, this snag persists. Sure, the Big Bang kicked off the universe, but what sparked the Big Bang? Where did the superdense matter and energy come from? And what about whatever caused that? It's the same infinite regress. No, the sheer fact that you're watching this video, breathing air, feeling emotions, it's undeniable proof that something somewhere must be eternal. Without that uncaused starter, that timeless force to shove the first domino, nothing could ever begin. It's the key that unlocks our reality. Moving to point number 2, the universe itself can't be that eternal something. Science shows it had a definite beginning. Dive into what we know from astronomy and physics. Our universe is expanding outward, like a balloon inflating bigger every second. If we could hit rewind on time, the universe would shrink, getting smaller and denser with each passing moment. Keep rewinding far enough, and you'd reach a single, tiny point where everything started, the Big Bang singularity. That's not eternal. That's a clear origin story. Add to that the energy factor. Picture the universe's total energy, like the gas tank in your car. Right now, it's being burned up, stars fusing atoms, planets orbiting, life thriving, all dipping into that finite supply. If the tank's half empty today, logic demands there was a moment when it was full, topped off at the start. An eternal universe would mean infinite time behind us, which would have drained that energy tank dry long ago, leaving nothing for now. But here we are, with galaxies spinning and solar systems buzzing. All this evidence from expansion to entropy points to a universe with a birthday, not an endless past. It began, so it can't be the ultimate eternal force. Finally, point number 3. The God described in the Bible boldly claims to be that eternal being. Flip open Psalm 90, verse 2. Before the mountains were brought forth, or ever you had formed the earth and the world, from everlasting to everlasting you are God. Feel the weight of that? It's saying if you journey from one infinite stretch of time to another, God is there unchanging, unbound, no birthday, no expiration date. He always was, is, and will be. This is huge for anyone pondering who created God. The biblical God isn't trapped in time like we are. He invented time itself, making him timeless. That's why questions about his creator miss the mark. He's outside the cause and effect loop. And get this, the Bible goes further, promising that through faith in Jesus we can tap into that eternity, receiving everlasting life from the one who embodies it. It's not just abstract theology. It's an invitation to something profound. So wrapping it all up, when someone hits you with who created God, lean on these 3 pillars. First, for us to exist at all, something must be eternal, no infinite chain allowed. Second, the universe isn't it, science proves it started. Third, the God of the Bible steps up as the eternal one, timeless and uncreated. If you're shaking your head in disagreement, I'd love to hear, what do you think is eternal? How did we all end up here on this spinning rock? And what convinces you of that? For me, it's clear God is eternal, the master creator who shaped us and penned his story in the Bible so we could connect with him, and at the heart of it all is this beautiful truth. Jesus loves you. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going.